Hi there, Nicholas Campion here from First Formations, and in today's video we are looking at a very important topic that all company owners should be aware of, and that is the filing requirements of a limited company. This video is part of our Whiteboard Thursday video series, the series where we look at all of the aspects of running a limited company here in the UK. So if you want to stay up to date with all of our insights, advice and inspiration, then hit that subscribe button. But for now, let's get started. So when you register a limited company here in the UK, you are legally required to report certain information to Companies House and HMRC on both a yearly and on an as-needed basis. This includes information about income and expenditure, assets and liabilities, and key details about the company and the people who control it. The first key filing we'll take a look at here today is that of the confirmation statement. You need to prepare a confirmation statement for Companies House at least once every 12 months, even if your company is dormant. This filing, which replaced the annual return in 2016, confirms general information about a registered company on a certain date, ensuring that all of the details shown on the public record are correct as of that point. As part of the filing of the confirmation statement, you'll need to check and confirm all of your company's details on Companies House. Now, these details will include the registered office or sale address if the company has one, details of appointed officers, that's the directors and company secretaries, information about people with significant control, also known as the PSCs, principal business activities, so these are your SIC codes or standard industrial classification codes, the share capital, such as the issued shares, the trading status of shares, and of course the shareholder information. If all of these details are correct and up to date on the Companies House register, then all you need to do is confirm this by filing the form CS01. To file a confirmation statement, you need just a little bit of information, and this will include the company's number, the full company name, so including the limited or LTD afterwards, the date of the confirmation statement, and of course a signature of either a director or a secretary. The completed confirmation statement can then be sent to Companies House either online or by post if you want to fill it out on paper. If you need to update your SIC codes, statements of capital, the trading status of your shares, or shareholder information, you'll also need to report this information on the confirmation statement using parts 1 to 4. However, if you need to report any other details, then you will need to update the information using separate filings with Companies House before you file your confirmation statement. Now, the due date of filing your annual confirmation statement will either be the anniversary of the date that your company was first incorporated, or the anniversary of the date that you last filed your confirmation statement. Once this due date passes, you'll have 14 days to deliver the confirmation statement to Companies House. The next filing we'll take a look at is that of the annual accounts. The filing requirements of limited companies includes preparing annual accounts for Companies House every year. And again, that includes companies that are dormant. The purpose of accounts is to report financial activity of the company at the end of its financial period. The type of accounts that you need to prepare and file will depend on the size or trading status of your company. For example, larger companies will be required to file full statutory accounts, while smaller companies will be able to get away with preparing just small company accounts. And moving down, then we have the micro-entities who can submit micro-entity accounts, until finally we get to dormant companies who they can file dormant company accounts. The deadline for sending accounts to Companies House is 9 months after the end of your company's financial year, except for your first set of accounts after incorporation, which will be 21 months after the date of incorporation. Having looked now at the key annual filings at Companies House, we can turn our attention to HMRC's own requirements. When your company starts trading, it becomes active corporation tax. That means you'll need to register for corporation tax online, prepare and file company tax returns and statutory accounts for HMRC, and pay corporation tax on all taxable profit. The first requirement, therefore, is to register for corporation tax. This should be completed within 3 months of the date that your company started to trade. This might be the date that your company was first incorporated, if you started trading right away, or later if your company went through a period of dormancy. You'll need to register for corporation tax online and provide HMRC with your company registration number, the date that you started to do business, so that's the date you started trading, and the date that your annual accounts were made up to. To register, you'll need your company's unique taxpayer reference, or UTR code as it's sometimes called, which HMRC will post to your registered office about 2 weeks after your company is incorporated. You'll then need to use your UTR code to create a government gateway account, complete the online registration, send company tax returns and annual accounts to HMRC, and to pay your corporation tax bills. You'll also need to file your tax returns and annual accounts. The filing requirements of a limited company at HMRC also include the preparation of corporate company tax returns, that's the form CT 600, and full statutory accounts. However, you don't need to prepare these if your company is dormant or inactive for corporation tax purposes. Company tax returns and annual accounts must be delivered to HMRC no later than 12 months after the end of your company's accounting period. Corporation tax bills must be paid no later than 9 months and 1 day after the end of the accounting period. In addition to company tax returns and annual accounts, you've also got to consider VAT, PAYE, and self-assessment. Companies are required to register for VAT, file VAT returns and pay VAT if annual taxable income exceeds £85,000, and that's the figures that are correct for 2020-2021. Voluntary VAT registration is also available for companies who don't meet that registration threshold. Meanwhile, PAYE registration is necessary if your company has employees. That's including directors who receive salaries through payroll. On top of that, company directors and shareholders also need to register for self-assessment and prepare tax returns for any untaxed personal income that they receive. And this might include dividends from shares, expenses, or director loans. Now let's turn our attention briefly to the filing requirements of limited companies to Companies House and/or HMRC when changes take place. And there are a lot of changes that can take place, but the sorts that you would expect are a change of a company name, adding or changing of a sale address, the location of statutory company records and registers, the addition or removal of directors or company secretaries, the changing of details for a director, secretary or shareholder, changes to the PSE register, the issuing or transferring of shares, altering the articles of association, the changing of your company's SIC codes, changing the accounting reference date, reporting your company as dormant, or perhaps changing the trading status of your company from dormant to active, changing the accounting period for corporation tax, appointment of, say, an accountant or a tax advisor, VAT and payroll details, and of course, self-assessment details. Some changes must be reported to Companies House within 14 days. And these sorts of changes include any changes to addresses, including your registered office or location of statutory records and registers, adding or removing directors or secretaries, or changing registered details of existing directors and existing secretaries. People with significant control changes, meanwhile, should be filed within 28 days. And if your company increases its share capital by issuing more shares, then the return of allotment of shares must be delivered to Companies House within 1 month. Don't forget, in addition to making these filings at Companies House, limited companies are also required to maintain a number of statutory records and registers of their own at their registered office or sale address, if they have one. Any changes to company details must be updated in the appropriate record, as not only is this a legal requirement, but the registers can actually be inspected by either government agencies or members of the public at any time. So, who is responsible for managing your company's filings? The responsibility of managing the filing requirements of a limited company falls solely on the directors, even if some of the duties have been delegated to someone else, such as a company secretary or an accountant. Failure to maintain the filing requirements of a limited company can lead to serious consequences. And those consequences might include financial penalties, director disqualification, company dissolution, and indeed even prosecution. But what happens to all of the filings if your company is dormant? Well, we've actually already touched on this quite a bit in this video. But it's important to reiterate that dormant companies still need to file an annual confirmation statement at Companies House at least once every 12 months, as well as prepare and submit dormant company accounts to Companies House every year. You'll also need to report changes to your registered details at Companies House and HMRC in some cases, as and when they occur. If your company isn't trading, you must tell HMRC that it is inactive for corporation tax purposes, and to do so you will contact the HMRC's Corporation Tax Office. Finally, let's briefly talk about how you can go about making some of the filings that we have discussed here today. Now, First Formations' Online Company Manager is a free software filing facility that allows you to access your registered details online, report any changes, and file annual confirmation statements at Companies House quickly and securely. Existing clients are automatically registered for this service, but non-clients can also sign up for this free service by creating an account online and importing their company onto our system. And that's it. So in today's video, we've looked at what limited companies are required to file, who is responsible for those filings, and how you can go about undertaking some of those filings online. If you have any questions, please do leave a comment. And don't forget, if you want to receive more videos just like this one, then hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Cheerio.